Hi there, I'm Allie Elliott.
Hi, I'm Allie Elliott. Welcome to my stream today. I am keeping up with my workflow here. I'm continuing the baby that I started yesterday, using the basics run that I made for these newborns when I started having this influx of babies, 16 newborn baby girls in a row, and number 17 is a boy. So a little bit different going on there. I've got no music again. I keep meaning to get that figured out in between streams and you know my work has taken precedent there. Well, that was poorly done, but I spent a good portion of today at a soccer camp, so it all had to be mobile mobile work there. All right, let's see. I can't remember if I ran this or not. So this set that I put together just for this string of newborns, so I like all my newborns the same. It is just sharpen, reduce noise, a touch of color balance because in studio my lights run a little cool, and a little curves bump just because I want to. I do what I want. But anyway, I'm getting ready for my speaking tour. If you are in the Huntsville, Alabama area, come see me. I start there on Monday, and I will be in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Nashville. No, Knoxville, and maybe it is Nashville, actually. I should probably know where I'm going at some point. I'm going to see a new studio space next week. I've been in my studio for 10 years. I've been in business 15, and I've been in this studio space 10 years, in this town 10 years. So this is the first time I've ever even considered switching studio space because I really love my space. It's very, very small, but it's on the town square, and there are always festivals and parades and people walking by, and the location was worth it. And really, it hasn't come back after COVID, and it's maybe gotten a little worse. So it is making things like that I was overlooking before a bigger deal. I was overlooking that the parking wasn't ideal, is metered parking. Um, People had to parallel park a lot, which isn't a big deal if you're used to it. But if you're not used to coming downtown, then you park like a feral cat might. And so it'd be nice to avoid it. So this space that I'm going to look at is built to suit. It has parking spaces in a beautiful area. The other business in that, hey, Lobe, I was chatting it up with myself here. Lobe is the resident bouncer. Greatly appreciate it. All right, duplicate here and just cleaning that newborn skin up a little bit. How is everybody tonight? Hello. Welcome. Welcome to my sunburn. Get used to it for the next 3 months. New sunburn every day. That's me living my best life. So inside my studio, I shoot a badge collector. See? Hey, Ram. So you're a trophy collector, just like me. Just different trophies. I don't know if I can count as a collector because I don't. Oh, there's some thunder. I'm on board for a nice storm. 100% approval. You know what though? It does not feel like Monday today. Not at all. That's a new one. So what's everybody working on right now? What's everybody shooting? So those of you that are naturey, outdoorsy kind of photographers, what are your seasons? Do you just adjust where you go to photograph? Tell us your story. College crap. That sounds incredible. I just don't. Well, all right. So it's a long winter then. I don't know. There's probably still stuff. Maybe not flowers. I can't keep flowers alive during any season unless you like to photograph poison ivy. That I can provide for you. I'm gonna bump this a little bit because it's still pretty. Hey, yes, my infamous spider bite happened in October, so I believe you about the fall. Ram started a trend. Starts up mid-March and peak is September to November. Yeah, I can see that. Flowers and there are probably insects all year round. Feels like there are. They just come inside in the winter. What? Bird hunter spider? No, thank you. Oh, I look at all these winged creatures. Since I photograph people, they're always around, which is helpful. Right now, it's a major baby boom. All babies all the time. Although it seems like maybe I'm coming to the end of that. I just have a normal amount of summer babies. Oh, there's Zeus. Zeus is playing football. And what is that? Is that money? Is that money in a Mickey Mouse hand? I like it. Okay. Okay. I'm a little scared. Let's do this. And then, no. That's hideous. All I know about pet spiders, I learned from Home Alone. I'm going, I'm going to have this alone. That just looks like a house plant. I'm going to have nightmares now. That is, okay, let's see. Where? Northern South America. That is too close for my comfort. Okay, but tarantulas don't bite, do they? Hear it walking. No. Oh, that's violent. I can't look away. Like, that's even a little one for these other. That really is a spider you could shoot. And they live 15 to 25 years? What? Okay. I'll take not aggressive. He's not gonna know. I'm not looking at a video though. That's where I draw the line. No, sir. I'm all flustered. rolling over myself. Shoo. Look, it's thundering. I'm blaming that on the spider too. I had a violent brown recluse bite in 2001. Horrific. Do not recommend it. And I passed out when I was at the doctor's about it. I passed out, and when I came to, my dad had also passed out. So I tried really hard. I've been overshooting all these newborns, and I tried really hard not to overshoot this one, and I did. Ugh. I'm not even going to jinx myself by saying that I haven't seen any of these enormous spiders. My sister has some big wolf spiders at her house. Surrender the house, give them the keys, move away. I'll call you guys to come retrieve the spiders when we find them. Now my kids are old enough to handle spiders for me. Oh, that's nice. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder or not. It's very cozy. It sounds like a movie effect. Those two are basically the same, so I'm just going to cut the one. Maybe someday I'll clean my equipment. But now that it's finally summer, I'm getting a lot of families wanting to get their portraits in. I like the summer ones. I know some people don't because of the heat, but I don't think it's been that bad. I like all this gray. So I took a few of my kids and then a friend, one of my kids' friends, to soccer camp today. And I was really excited because we found a place not too far away that had vegan hot dogs. And then they had regular hot dogs too. So, because like his buddy's not vegan, and I don't care, I'm not going to make anybody else eat vegan. But he got his non-vegan hot dog, and we had our vegan ones, and he wasn't eating it. I was like, "What's wrong, bud?" And he was like, "It's crunchy." So I don't know what was in it, but it was not enticing. Crunchy hot dog. I have a headache tonight, but I think it's either from the rain or from getting a little bit dehydrated outside today. Have a bad song stuck in my head. Also, do not recommend that. I wish I could share that image. I'm sure it'll come through again when IPC comes around, but there was an image that I saw in the illustrative category that was like a little spider. It seemed little. I don't know. I did not know that there were spiders the size of my 6-year old lurking around in the world, but it was absolutely beautiful of it like producing a web. Really pretty stuff. And I'm guessing that it was a stack, but I don't know that for sure because I don't shoot macro. I think maybe we'll take the toe out. It's kind of dismembered. Look at all those textures. Okay. It seems really quiet. Like 455, 57. And then up here is one of my favorite shots that I do with newborns is this one with the textures crumbled like that. I love it. Really grab that one. Nope, that's a little different. 62, 68, 70. And then 1, 2 down. Like that. Pretty well. I like that one better actually. I actually like that one even better. I keep changing it. Okay, and that is for a sports team. So I will have to find a basketball. What is everybody having for dinner tonight? Because I'm hungry and I need inspiration for takeout. Sometimes, like when I just shoot it exactly how I want it to end up, I just stare at it for a little bit because I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let's go down here. I think it's Nelly that I have stuck in my head. So I want to keep this flowing texture camera left, but I don't want that little dab of skin. So we'll just cut that off there and then clone up that corner. At some point I need to decide on Ladder to the Moon if I scrap it, if I go back to the drawing board. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I'm going to pull that up actually. I've got a lot of balls in the air right now. Okay. So competition. Spring. And then district. So this is the only one that didn't merit at district, and I kind of decided I'll take the guide images and slide them down here because I feel like it's losing some impact. Maybe make more gradual around here and maybe bump the stars up because it's kind of hard to see them. So there are definitely some options here. I'm going to pixel peek these. Since I had 7 out of 8 feel, I've got nothing but time to obsess for both good and bad. Does show up a little more up there, but I do think I had somebody tell me that when it came through judging, it seemed really, really dark in comparison to everything else. So that's probably a consideration. But I like that it's dark. I just think maybe bringing some of those stars back in would allow the dark to shine a little bit. If that makes sense. Even if it doesn't. Um, Go a little more subtle. What's everybody up to? Talk to me. It's going to be a long week. Their camp is 4 days from 9 to 1, and it's an hour away. So I just stay, and like I brought my laptop. Ooh, storm. I've been waiting all year for a nice storm. I had been waiting for a spring storm and it never came. So now summer. I'll take a summer storm. I guess technically it's not summer yet. But I always feel like after Memorial Day it's summer. And it's D-Day today. Remembering D-Day. I quizzed my children yesterday on D-Day and they failed. So we had a recap today. Oh, I already got one, didn't I? Let's see. So I've got 60 from this session and I'm not even halfway through. So fair to say I did overshoot. I overshot less than I did the last few babies, but there's no such thing as too many pictures. Even if you don't want them now, you will want them eventually. Be glad you have them. All right, what do we want to keep here? We want to keep the eyelashes? Yeah, I think so. It's got pretty eyelashes. Oh, this little sensor dust cleaned up. Baby Fuzz. Jim Gaffigan told a joke where he said, I have more photos of my kids than my father ever looked at me. That I love. He's hilarious. When he asked, when somebody asked him what it was like to have 4 kids, he said, looks like having, looks like you have 3 kids and you're drowning and somebody hands you a 4th kid. Right, I'm going to blur out the less important pieces of this image in what is hopefully a believable way. Hmm. And I think that the hardest transition for number of kids, so I have 6 kids, the hardest transition I think was 0 to 1. Just remembering you have to take a whole extra person. Like if you want to go to the grocery store or out to dinner or something, there's a whole extra person and all their stuff. It's hard to get used to. Aw, the right one will come along. I don't know. I have no good advice. I met my husband in college. First day, first class. We did not like each other. He thought I was too quiet, so joke's on him. Oh, there we go. A little laid back baby action. The white balance on this is super off, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, I'm not even halfway. That's just crappy. Well, I don't know. I don't know. How do you meet people? What are your, okay, Twitch, let's get on this. I feel like the next one is sharper. I don't even know where you meet people. I have nothing helpful whatsoever to say. I do need to look at these both and see which one. Yeah, that one's definitely exposed better. Alright, let's get, so this is for the Evansville Aces, not one I see a lot, being in IU's hometown here, Indiana University that is. And that ball is a placekeeper for a little basketball. I'm just going to close that because otherwise I'm going to keep accidentally clicking it. How does this happen? Why do I overshoot? Why? Let's see here. And then, did I open this? Okay, I did. So that's, I'm going to put a basketball where there is a baseball right now. So just bear with me. And I like that one because it's just real subtle for the Aces colors. He was not feeling it by now. So 506, 503. So we're going to work a little magic. Let's see if we got one before I try working magic. Here we go. 5, 10. Oh, and then there's a family blanket. All right, so we'll use this one too. Okay. So this one's pretty cut and dry. I'm definitely going to have to work on the color here because it's cold. I do want to burn down this highlight over here from where there was a little bump in the blanket. Oh, that probably needs to be crumbs too. I asked, it was my 11-year-old and his buddy that went to the camp, and I was like, at the end of it was mostly girls at the camp. And at the end of it, I was like, did you guys meet your future wives today? And they were like, no. It was a resounding, immediate no. So that probably means they did. Some live music and my first in-camera quadruple exposure. Have you looked at it yet? You should stream it sometime that I'm awake. Actually, anybody should stream sometime when I'm awake because it seems like I wake up to a lot of notifications that exciting things are happening while I'm asleep. Mm. How is how do you like live music photography? I think you've done that before, I think, since I've been on here. That's definitely something that I've never ventured into. Let's check it out. Oh wow. That is that straight out? Straight out of the camera? I'd say that's pretty solid. It reminds me of those commercials, which I don't probably nobody else will remember these because I'm older than everybody on the history of Twitch. But those commercials where it would be like George Jones or somebody singing a gospel album and it would list the songs and it would be on like a roller and it would just be them singing and then they're singing over here and they're singing over here. I love it. That's very cool though. I like all the different photography forms that I'm seeing on Twitch and just different stuff that you maybe wouldn't even think about trying without seeing somebody else suggest it or try it or come on. That's how it's gonna be. I'll just go back. I think I might warm this puppy up just a little bit more. So that's with the orange and white gone. I'm gonna mix those. I'm gonna use this one. And as long as my color is consistent across the different images, then I'm okay with that. And then if they want to print it big, they want to go on the wall or something, I can go over it by the numbers. But right now I just need it consistent. never saw any lightning, just thunder. Oh, there's no thunder. All right. There is a basketball. I was gonna use just a regular basketball, but I think I'll use. They brought in this special one, and I think I will use it. I like that though. Oh, wait, here I've got an idea. Let's try the old select subject tool. This is life changing. Look at that. It's beautiful. And we have a tiny basketball. So I am in a college town. If you follow Big Ten anything, then you will know IU. Huge basketball town. Obviously, we're Hoosiers. Mm, um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I've got super cute props for the college town because that's like our whole thing, and people love to use the little. They're pretty famous for their candy stripes. Their warm ups that are candy stripes, and those get requested a lot because I had little knit soft candy stripes made, and people love that and use those a lot. And then at the same time, which was it was when I opened the studio here, um, I got a little IU football, and in 10 years now, nobody, not one person, has used the little IU football. So it's kind of sad. But also now I feel like it's some kind of record. So I'm not going to encourage anybody too much because that would mess up my whole story. Okay, and I'm going to, first of all, fill this in. And then back up just a little and make sure the focus is where we want it to be, which is his little face. And go stripe on here, right there. And then the rest, let me see, right across his chest a little bit because and then I'll look at those together in the folder and just make sure they're relatively consistent. Yep, pretty solid so far. All right, done with that. All right, and sometime when babies are not feeling it, it's easier to just plan on a little composite. You just want to make sure the sizing is right here. So I'm going to line up that hand. All right. And then I'll switch to the stylus. You don't have to hear the click, click, click. But I'm going to warp too so this lines up a little bit better. Move everything. And then we'll have to tighten his little ear. Oh, and we've got a little head, so we'll definitely have to adjust this. All right. Nope, not that. And then there's a little hair up there, so it works out. And then now we've got to go back and undo the warp that I just did because I got impatient. There we go. All right. Just clean up these weird rough edges. Oops. All right, and then I'm going to invite everybody that I'm talking to next week at my speaking tour. Invite them to join us here on Twitch. And I hope that it catches on a little bit. Some more photographers and creators out here. I think that'd be pretty cool. face is a little darker than everywhere else. And then I'm going to warm up this top layer because I drained the color. We already used that face. So I'll do a few more. This is going to be a short stream tonight. I'm just super tired. But I'm probably going to um, I'm probably going to have to stream tomorrow night too. I don't usually stream on Tuesdays, but I just got to be able to keep up. And this is their little family blanket. 21, 25, 28, 32. You're so sleepy. 37. So a typical gallery is 60 to 80, depending on, how many sibling combos there are, if they want all the different family combinations, all that good stuff. So the last newborn that I delivered had 112, and the one before that had 163 images, which is completely insane. That's two large galleries. But it came out in one session. But that was my friend from college, and I'm excited to have more pictures for them. But that's kind of, and these people in particular they wanted a few really beautiful pictures. They didn't need a ton. So hopefully out of this gallery they can find a few that are really special to them and, speak to the interests and personality of their family. Again, enough of this dude lounging. He loved this little knit romper thing. As soon as he was in that, he was asleep, comfortable, lounging. I would wear that. I have two different songs stuck in my head, and my brain keeps going back and forth as to which one my brain is singing. So and they're very, very different songs from one another. One is a gospel hymn, and one is Nelly. So very well rounded. That blanket had some serious reflective qualities. That was a little family blanket. They said 80 years old, something like that. Is the baby's grandma or grandpa? I can't decide between those facial expressions. Looks like he's dreaming here. So I think they'll get their few pictures that they love out of this, and then you can leave the rest behind if they want. But I would always rather have a huge, too big gallery. And I know that people say that. You hear a lot within the industry that you don't want to overwhelm people, so you don't want to show them too much. I'm in Indiana, but I disagree. I think that people, if I feel like if they're getting overwhelmed, it's maybe in the presentation more than um, the number of images. I used to print hard copies. I used to print like 4x6s for my sales appointments. And so if I overshot something, I was paying for it, literally paying for it to be printed out. So I had to be more um, harsh in my culling process. And I don't have to do that now because I do digital presentation with the slideshow and all that good stuff. And it allows me to present as many as I want. I feel like maybe I have one like that. Yeah, I feel like that actually. 555. And then once I get caught up on these babies, I have my pictures from U.S. men's soccer team game last Wednesday that I got to attend. And it's only a handful of pictures. It's not going to take very long, but I want to just obsess. So come obsess with me when I get to work on that. Oh my gosh, I love it. 60. To 66. I love this blanket. Maybe I'm halfway. 562, 560. And these babies are so easy and they're so cozy and cuddly and they sleep and or they're awake when you want them to be and they sleep when you want them to be. And they make it really hard to stop taking pictures. So it's the baby's fault. 2, 4. Huh. So I didn't really intend for that. I just needed a picture of the whole basketball, and that's when I thought about it. So, um, but I like it. And that is there. That is an Aces signed basketball. I think they said it was maybe 2011 or somewhere around there. Okay, I think I started this stream with 40 pictures and we got 74. So just a solid amount of progress in an hour. Slide this down. This blanket is the softest blanket ever. And it has a lot of reflect, reflective properties. So I have to make sure that it's not blowing everything out because it is so soft. And then I think I'll get this set done. Since I know I'm going to have to be back tomorrow to finish this baby, maybe do some of my men's national team pictures because that's different than I'm not an event photographer. I don't shoot weddings anymore. I used to shoot weddings or birthday. I mean, truly, when I started out, I would shoot anybody's anything that would pay. And then as I got a little more confident and I built up my portfolio, I didn't need to do that anymore. Um, and then I could hone in on what I really loved, which is portraits. And I love controlling the scene and light and everything. And you can't do that in events without Wii Pen, I guess, but that's annoying. So in 2015, I shot my last wedding and have no plans whatsoever to shoot weddings ever again. I've had like family members say, "Oh, I wish I want you to shoot my wedding. I only trust you." But I would rather be like in charge of finding them a wedding photographer. I'll pay for it. I'll come as a guest, but I'm not. It's not going to be one of those. Oh, you're coming anyways. Bring your camera. No, I can't. So I was kind of annoyed with myself for bringing my camera. I thought for a while about renting just because it's something that I don't normally shoot, so I don't really have the ideal gear for it. Um, and I ended up not doing that. We talked about that on stream just because by the time you rent it all, you're a third of the way to buying it if you end up really loving it. So then you might as well just buy it. And I thought about just buying it, and I didn't because I won't use. I'm 1,000,000% a creature of habit and use the same lens. But so I took just my regular in studio lens to the game and figured it's super old. It needs to be replaced anyway, both the body and the lens. So I figured if it got beat up real bad, that would just be my sign that it's time to get a new one. And when I first brought it, I was kind of annoyed. It was just something to carry. It was an extra thing that I had to be aware of where it was, make sure that I didn't forget it, didn't get stolen. And luckily, the first two goals they scored were right in front of us, and they came and did their like corner celebration literally right there. I could have reached out and grabbed them. So because of that, I was able to get some pictures that I'm really excited about that just kind of show how close they got. So they weren't really like action shots of the game or anything, but they were special. If I had to pick, I probably would have picked that. And um, then their last goal was a PK, which was down at the other end. So I recorded that with my um, phone camera. And I figured that would be the best shot at getting the roar of the crowd. And it was pretty cool. And then the other team shanked a PK right in front of us, but I didn't record that because I didn't want to jinx us, and I did not want to record a goal of theirs because that's just how I am. But we got lucky with that one. I love these textures. So I've got to spend the next few days refining my visual storytelling presentation, which I am going to be giving throughout the South next week. So come see me, come hang out with me. It's so much fun to do these things in person. It's just really another part of my job that I really truly love. And normally I speak on unconventional marketing. That's kind of the thing that has caught on that people are really interested in. And this is a little bit different. I will absolutely come to South Carolina. Contact your local guild and put in a request. I will shoot snakes with a gun. Just kidding. I will shoot snakes with a long lens, like really long. But there has to be a hardcore pinky swear that the snakes are all on one side of me. Because the, that's true. Snakes do need storytelling. I can provide that. And like it's the surprise factor for me. So if I know where they're at, we're cool. We can coexist beautifully and I can tell their story. But if there's one like hanging out above me in a tree, not that that's ever happened, but that I don't know about, that's when we've got issues. That's when there is an out of body experience, a visceral, horrific scream. That's when it gets crazy. Nobody wants that. Oops. So I just want to get that catch light back, and it might be as easy as a little clone action. So we'll see. I tried to cut corners just now. It's not work, so. They also have newborns. Oh, that'd be interesting. Put a little hat on them. I've seen it done with kittens, but not snakes. See, the snakes above me, I'm not okay with. No, no. I was very, very pregnant in like maybe ankle to knee depth in a creek. Like it wasn't deep, but it's difficult to move. Giantly pregnant with fifth or sixth baby, and I was photographing another pregnant woman who was downstream from me a little bit, and there was like a branch thing overhang, and I got the shot, and I was trying to adjust my footing to be able to turn to get out. And when I grabbed the branch above me, a snake came down. And I'm sure he was just trying to get away from me like I was him. But no, we cannot have that. It was dangerous situation. There we go. Okay, we just needed to open his little sleepy eye a little bit. There we go. He woke up. And that one little shadow is going to bug me. South Carolina is very pretty. I would totally be on board. I'm excited about the South. I haven't been down south other than Texas in quite a few years. We like drive through going to Disney, but doesn't really count. That's the only reason anybody is ever in Indiana. They're always like, "Oh, it's going through, just heading through the crossroads of America, man." And I'm just now picking up on looking for birds. I guess I didn't realize there were snakes that ate birds. That seems, I feel like there's one on me. Is there a snake on me? You let me know. Okay, that's all she wrote there. All right, let's see how we did. We went from 40 to 83, so that's pretty solid. And it's also indicative of the fact that I actually did overshoot this session. Um, there are worse things in the world, though. Let's see how many we got left. Uh, okay, so we're like halfway through, maybe a little more than halfway through. I'll take that. That's a good day. Um, but I will be back tomorrow for the very unusual Tuesday stream. And I want to try to get on here later and pick up some other streamers because I haven't really had a chance to just um, get on here when anybody else is streaming. So it'll be from my phone, so I can't read anything. But thank you guys so much for being here. Please follow along here and YouTube and Instagram. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good one.
That's why you my mommy. Please.